both Syracuse and Pitt, you won double digits, but they had some pretty good moments early on. What did you like about how your team settled and then eventually took control over those games?
Yeah, just the grittiness that our guys played with. We certainly weren't perfect in either game, but I thought the guys just played the game as it came and did their best to try to go on little mini runs and try to get out of some situations that were a little bit tough and really competitive. ACC play is going to be competitive, and I thought our guys did a nice job.
Syracuse was shooting really well in that first half, but you guys still took a lead at the break. What mindset shift did you guys have to sort of, make the defensive end more efficient?
Yeah, I think trying to get them further away from the basket, I think, was the biggest thing, not allowing them to get so close and have clean looks in near the rim. I thought the point of screen defense was much better in the second half. The bigs did a nice job. The protection and gaps was really good, and it just allowed us to get better contests.
And when you're in those tight games and, just things aren't working, or at least the way that you want them to, is there something you found that works best that you say or you or your staff do to kind of get things back?
Yeah, a lot of times we just say something simple as, it's not meant to be easy. It's not life. Life's meant to be hard and challenging, and the teams and the people, the individuals that persevere and figure things out and don't make excuses, usually have the success that they want. And I think our guys, they're committed to one another. They're committed to figuring it out when they get in those situations, and thankfully we've been able to do that more than not.
And in what area of your team's game have you think, has Virginia improved the most when you look at that first ACC game to right now?
Yeah, I think the defense has gotten better. I think clearly that's the biggest area where we've improved. The rebounding, in particular, the defensive rebounding has really picked up. I think that's 4 or 5 in a row where it's, you're in the 25% range or below. Which is a big improvement for us. The offensive rebounding has continued, to be, an important part of our game. And, we haven't shot it as well as we're capable of shooting it. And so, hopefully that's a good sign. We'll, continue to work. As long as we keep taking the right shots, we're confident that they'll go down.
And do you think shots is kind of the area that maybe has dipped a little bit that you want to see come back?
Yeah, there's no question. We always want to make shots. The key is just continuing to practice each day and make sure that we're ready. But taking the right shots is key.
Ugo gave you guys some pretty significant interior presence past 2 games. What has his rebounding and rim protection done for you guys defensively?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's a big reason why our 2-point field goal percentage defense is one of the better ones in the country. And, he's a big part of that. The length that he has, the timing that he has in and around the rim. I would include, Johan in that as well. We have, 2 guys that are, excellent, in that regard.
Sam has been pretty efficient these past 2 games for shooting. What about him offensively do we not see through the box score?
Yeah, I think he's improving his ball handling and his passing. I think that's an area that he wants to see growth in, and I think him playing in pick and roll down the line is going to be an area of strength for him as he continues to work at it and has more opportunities there. But clearly his ability in transition, to finish plays, and then his shooting on the offensive side of the ball are really important for this team. His competitiveness and his defense, have really began to take off.
Looking ahead to Florida State, what have you been seeing from film on them?
Yeah, I told the team they're playing as well as anybody in the ACC right now. Going into this game, 3 straight ACC wins on the road, at home. They shoot the ball really well from the outside. High volume threes, but they also are really good at finding twos. They're extremely fast in transition, and so we'll have to get our defense set. in this particular game or any game. And down at Florida State is always a tough place to play, so we know we're going to have to play our best to win.
When you look this weekend, what made you want to take the trip to Nashville?
We just felt like it was an important game. Once the ACC gave us those 2 games back, we felt it was important to challenge ourselves, and because you never know where you're going to be at that point in the season. You want to make sure you have quality wins, or opportunities, I guess is a better way to put it. Quality opportunities to put yourself in a good position for an NCAA tournament berth. And this game certainly will be an important one.
And do those neutral site games against an unfamiliar opponent to an extent do they do much when in terms of getting ready for kind of prepping for tournament play and how that will play out?
I think it does. You see different styles, and I think playing a team that is one of the premier programs, in the country will be beneficial for us. The Big Ten's an awesome league, and Ohio State's having a good year, and so it's going to be, a big challenge. We haven't really watched them a ton at this point, but, we're all in these big conferences now, and so when you're playing teams only once in a year, it's really what you're doing anyway. When you get ready for the NCAA tournament, so gone are the days of 8 teams in a conference where you play everybody twice. And so we're all, in a way, prepping, for that NCAA tournament, postseason opportunity anyway.
Right, and you said it because conferences are so big. Does the preparation really change much from preparing for a team that maybe is outside of the conference that you haven't seen as much?
Honestly, not really. It's just you put your best foot forward in every game that you play, and you try to figure out what's going to give your team the best chance to be successful in that particular game, and what can you take away from that team, how can you exploit some of their weaknesses, and then you just go play.
Looking back at Syracuse, what were your just biggest teaching points going into tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, the first half defensively, we weren't at our best. They were shooting 58%, I think, from 2 overall. And that's not going to cut it, over the course of the rest of the season. So I think just getting more quality contests, better at the point of the screen, getting our defense set. In terms of transition defense, there were several plays where we made some mistakes. And that's been, the last couple of games, we've had a few of those. But to hold, 2 straight teams to the numbers that they were at, I think it was a pretty positive sign. Well, thanks, guys.